Enough is enough. Mm. The searching for was right here at home. And I just can't keep doing you wrong, baby. For another man. And I can't have that happen to me. I
Oh,
decided to stay home tonight, Tasha.
I understand. Sometimes you got to just to
Whoa,
stay out of
whoa.
trouble.
I'm trying to tell you. Them streets ain't got nothing but COVID waiting on you. Yes, sir. I don't own the rights to this music, but it gets me there. This is one of those songs that takes me all the way there. And I want to start my 2021 show off with it. That I can stand no more. Got to get you some Markells in your life. Fuck that mute shit. Holla at your boy. Alexa, pause. What's up? What's up? What's up, McMac? How you doing this evening?
I cannot complain. I am enjoying this nice break from work. It is the new year, so I am enjoying all of it.
I love it. I love it. Well, welcome back from our little hiatus to our first show. Excuse me, audience. I started off with some bad language, but that ought to tell you, ain't nothing changed. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad
Mhm.
to have survived 2020. Um, be launching new shows for 2021. I think
Mhm.
they're going to be bigger, better. We've got some great, great surprises in store for our audience as we get started. As the audience, you guys know, for those loyal viewers who have been tuning in on a regular basis, Saturdays are my light days. This is where I like to keep the topics very light, something kind of fun, carefree. Wednesdays is typically when we kind of tackle those tough subjects. That won't
Mhm.
change. But I will say we've got some really cool things coming up right here at the beginning of the year. If in case you guys haven't noticed, I've changed my brand and logo for 2021. I've got some other interesting things coming technically. I've got some big surprises coming down the pike about what we're doing with the show, who we're partnering with. So when I took off, guys, it wasn't just to twiddle my thumbs and sit around and drink eggnog. I was still in the background, trying to think of how to make this thing bigger, better for 2021. In case you guys don't know, I'm all in. I'm all in. Got some great things coming. I don't want to announce anything tonight, so just stick with me. We're going to grow this show one subscriber at a time if we have to, but we're doing it the right way, So, I appreciate everybody for coming on board. And so, for anybody want to join us tonight, we're here. But I do recognize people are still in that celebratory mode. It's Saturday night. Here in Atlanta, at least, the weather is ridiculously warm. We're talking 60s. So people are probably out doing what they do. And as the song came on, as it said, I decided to stay home tonight. You know,
It's not like that in Memphis. It's cold and it's raining outside, but that song still has an effect though, even with that weather. So
that's what's up. That's what's up. So, yeah, you know, could be out doing some things, but number one, I work today. So, I got to get my mind right, coming down from one scenario to the next. But I'm looking forward to this conversation. So I'm ready for it. And so hopefully we'll get some people to join us. If not, we're going to do what we always do, McMac.
absolutely.
People don't understand that this is what we would be doing anyway.
Yes,
That's
it
the
is.
reality. We would literally be having this conversation going back and forth. We just have decided to have these conversations in public, in a public forum. So we're going to be talking about tonight, New Year's resolutions, the 4 stages of dating. And I thought this would be a fun topic considering it's New Year's, even though it's the second. But what do people normally do when it hits New Year's? The first thing people do, you hear it all the time. Oh my God, I'm going to do some things different. I'm gonna
So,
make some New Year's reservation
new
resolutions.
year, new me.
Right. You hear all I'm gonna go on a diet. I'm guilty of it myself, and I don't know what it is about the new year that we think that, you know, we're going to get in gear and get ourselves together. And some of it is true, just for the record. Some of it is true.
Mhm,
So I wanted to kind of do a little fun spin on the New Year's resolution kind of thing. And of course, here we talk about relationships, dating.
mhm.
So before I kind of lead where I'm going, what did you think of when as you've had a few days to kind of, absorb the topic when we're talking about relationships as it relates to the four stages of dating and resolutions? What did it make you think of?
Well, naturally, like you said, of course, just being in the relationship, what it means to bringing in the new year and how it can evolve, how you could begin looking into new relationships, but also more specifically, what each stage looks like. I think a lot of times, for us, it's easy to fall into the same traps and we end up having the same relationships over and over again. But really, it's really taking each one of those sections, one of those stages of the relationships, and really breaking it down to see how am I really going to make a change. Let's stop doing the same things over and over again. Let's have a real honest conversation with myself and say, okay, how
Wow.
can I make each stage better?
Wow. I love where you went with that. And that last part is the reason why I wanted to do this. You said, let's have a real conversation with myself.
Hmm.
We did a show a few months back called Man in the Mirror, and we talked about that. I think sometimes we fool ourselves, you know, when it comes to resolutions. Like, let's be honest, I want to lose weight, I want to go on a diet, but in order to do that, I would have to have that real conversation with myself and change some things. It doesn't happen automatically. And so I think the same approach should be taken when it comes to relationships. So I like that you said that, because there's all these sayings: when you know better, you do better, right?
Hmm.
You
Supposed to.
know, the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same things the same way and expecting different results. And I think too many times that's what we see. And so when I look back in retrospect at the year 2020, the pandemic notwithstanding and all of the other challenges that went along with that, I think about how many people who are in relationships who was caught up in that vicious cycle of not
Mhm.
really looking at what can I do different. And the thing about it, and Tasha, we've talked about this, and for you viewers out there, agree. You're welcome to post some comments, please, and let us know. But one of the things that the pandemic exposed, I thought, was relationships' strengths, whether they were strong or not.
Yes.
When the pandemic hit in March, and all of a sudden we were forced to self quarantine, to be at home more, for a lot of people, that meant spending a significant amount of time with that person they were with. And they found out in those moments, do I really like this person? Do we really have something in common? Because all of a sudden now you're stuck between those four walls and you're having to deal with each other, you know. And we both know that people get together for all of the wrong reasons. Men do it, women do it. And BBD said you can't trust a big button to smile. There's a lot of guys in relationships right now because that ass. I've been guilty of it myself. We know that when winter hits, people tend to couple up. It's cupping
Mhm.
season, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they like each other. But hey, it's cold outside. I don't want to sleep alone. She got a pretty fat ass. Hey, where am I gonna go? You know, Women make those same kinds of decisions. They don't want to be alone during the holidays. They want somebody to go to these family functions with. That pillow between your legs is not as comforting as you might imagine. So, you know,
I just want to add to that though.
sure, go
This
ahead.
this conversation, if you're being honest with yourself, should ring true to those people who keep having their serial daters. They keep jumping from relationship to relationship, and they're so quick to say that it's the other person when really the common denominator in all of those things is you. So this is really, really, if you have got to be honest, it's 2021. I think it's honestly it's 2020 2.0. I really think that's where we're going this year. So let's got to be more honest with ourselves.
I love it. And that's what we're going to do tonight. Even if we don't get any guests, we're gonna talk about real shit, real dating scenarios. Now, for those of you that might be married, already found that person, you think, well, how do I benefit from this? Here's what really it's important for you as well. As I'm bringing on Kennard, for those who may be married or in relationships as well, my thing is, how well do you really know your mate?
Yeah.
You know, were you friends before you became lovers, before you coupled up? Because we also know that there are people that, again, because of the situation like the pandemic, they end up discovering, I don't really know this person like I should. We don't have as much in common. So what can I do if I'm already coupled up, I'm already married or whatever? Well, guess what? Even in those situations, there's no harm in going back. We're taught in works related situations sometimes go back to the basics, and you hear that in sports all the time. I know Kennard, you can attest to that. If a ball player
Yeah, for sure.
is off his game, and they're not hitting their shots, they're not scoring, they're not doing the fundamental. What do they say? I'm going to go back to the basics. Well, that same principle can apply even if you're in an established relationship, that if it's not all you want it to be, sometimes we need to revisit and go back to the basics, revisit the fundamentals, and maybe take a closer look, like you said, Tasha, looking in the mirror, that, hey, did I skip that stage? And what if I go back now? What can I get from it? So that's kind of what we're gonna go. So to this subject, welcome, Kennard. How you doing, my brother?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Happy New Year to Tasha. I actually talked to Black yesterday, so I ain't telling him Happy New Year no more. So definitely glad to be back on the show today. I think we got some really nice topics, very home hitting topics. So I'm very excited to be on. Let's get it.
Absolutely. So we're gonna jump right in there, and we're gonna talk about the first stage, of dating, and that's the initial meeting stage, the attraction stage. And I'm gonna refer to some different points as we talk about this, and then of course with us we'll kind of discuss, what we think about this. So this first stage of, when you initially meet somebody and you're attracted to them, before I even get into that, one of the things that me and Tasha always talk about is what attracts men versus what attracts women. And even on your wife's show last night, Kennard, the Candy Shop, we kind of got into it a little bit, because I believe that men are more visual creatures where women are more cerebral. And so right now we only have Tasha to speak to that, but I want to go to you, Tasha, on that. What is it for you about the initial stage when you first meeting somebody, where you're getting to know them? What is it that attracts you?
Initially for me, of course, just the initial my initial thing is I am into the physical. So I look at him physically. Does he have a handsome face?
Okay.
And then of course it goes from there. But for me, can you make me laugh initially? How are you? Are you really uptight? Are you kind of laid back? That's what's important. Can you make me laugh?
Wow. Okay. But I'm not gonna overlook the fact. Welcome, Miss Candace from the Candy Shop.
Hey.
Welcome. How you doing, sweetheart? And so we definitely thank you for joining as well. And so I caught the part though where you said, Tasha, that you talked about the face.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything about a person's body or anything. I thought that was really interesting. So for you, it is the initial face for you that does it.
The eyes and the smile. Yes, that's really like endearing to me. Like, do you have a really nice smile? Do you have really nice eyes? I look at that, because some of people they have crazy eyes, and it's not somebody I want to be around. there's people that you've seen that just like you just look at them, you're just like something's not right, something's not firing in all cylinders. And I look for kind eyes and a nice smile. I do.
Wow. Okay. And then beyond that, for you, a sense of humor is clearly very important, you know.
Yes.
Okay. Canards, we're gonna do a girl boy kind of thing. For you as a guy, what is it
Okay.
in that initial stage of getting to know somebody as you're getting into the dating scene? You know, what is it that initially attracts you to that person?
I mean, of course, the physical attraction, obviously. You know, when I see somebody, I'm looking at them and, oh man, you know. And then after that, after the initial attraction, most of the time it seems like a lot of my pickups have been at just sitting at the bar chilling. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I'm just sitting at the bar chilling and I'm talking after I've established the fact that I, you know, attracted to this woman. Then it gets to the point where I'm starting to talk. And I'm starting to hear the conversation. I'm starting to hear the energy and to hear the, you know, maybe, I don't know, you could say passion or whatever it is. And it's like, oh, damn, I either like this person or, man, I'm trying to make an excuse to get up so I can get out of there. That's, if you don't make it past that part, of course, you can't make it to step two. But I'm really interested in a person's energy as far as like conversation. And I like to laugh too. And it's really sexy for a woman to be entertaining instead of me just sitting there and the man has to initiate all levels of conversation.
Right.
That's going to lead to a hit it and quit it, and it's just not going to work out. Some like the other. So that's my initial take on that.
Okay. Okay. Absolutely. I get that. What about you, Candace? What is it for you, the initial stages of dating when you meet somebody? What is it that attracts you?
I guess of course their face, how they carry themselves. Usually I'm more attracted to like business types. I don't do the thugs unless you're a corporate thug. But it's how a man carries himself. If he can talk well, usually somebody that's college educated. Like,
Okay.
I'm one of those people that I'm not gonna say a pimp could have got me, but I am intrigued by somebody that is very smart.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Oh, I'm the opposite, Candace. Ted Bundy could have got me because I am just, if you're charming, you got me.
And I don't know if you guys caught the beginning of this. We were kind of talking about when you know better, do better. So I'm going to say what it has been for me and where I'm planning on making a change in 2021 for me, because we're talking about New Year's resolutions, kind of, sort of. So for me, ironically, Tasha knows this very well for me. I never look at a woman's face when I first meet a woman. I can't tell you what she looks like. I don't care about her hair length. She could be beautiful or she could be ugly. That doesn't matter to me one bit. I literally look at her body, particularly her ass. You know, I'm completely initially attracted by her body. And for me, I don't even get into the personality traits. I've been doing it backwards for so long that I'm at this place where, okay, Freddie, you got to do something different now, because I've rushed head into relationships based strictly on physical. I see something I want, I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to get to know her afterwards. And that hasn't worked, you know. And like I talked about on your show last night, Candace, that's where the 2s and the 3s and the 1s would come into play, you know, because you end up sleeping with somebody that, damn, I don't even like this person, or that dreaded next morning, if it makes it to that. Because again, I didn't look at her face. And so now in a clear light of day, and you roll over like, oh my God, what the hell did I do? You know, and I've had many of those moments, you know, and so I gotta, oh, you know, you might not have as many, but seriously, and I found myself in those situations where like, oh my, and so to think about, I was talking to a friend about this recently, and we were talking about our past and all the dirt we did. By the grace of God, to have escaped all of that, and the only thing I ever got was an STD, it's a true blessing. because I went there in so many different ways like that. Um, anyway, so that's the thing. But keep talking on that. I want to throw something at you guys since still talking about this initial stage. One of the pointers that talked about in this dating stage, this first stage, they called it the talking stage, where it says that you've exchanged numbers, you do things on a friendship level, and get this, maybe even had sex, testing the waters to see if it's a growing interest. So in this talking stage for you, is there sex? Is there sex? Because for some people, they have this waiting rule. So anybody, is there a waiting rule for you? What do you think about it? Just in this talking, Tasha's already chomping at the bit, but in this general talking stage, you don't really know the person. Is there sex?
Absolutely, there's sex. Because for me, if I can't risk waiting. I can't make that risk waiting to get to know you. And then after X amount of time, then we go there and then it's terrible. And it's like, I like you as a friend, but this could never be. I can't take that risk. I have to know. It may be the first date. It may be the fourth date. It for me, it doesn't. It just really depends on that person and our vibe. Because sometimes you may realize that it's just lust. After you sleep with them, that's it. There's nothing else there. I just needed that. That's all I needed. But no, there's definitely sex in the first
Okay.
state.
Let me ask you this. So considering new year, new start, we are getting older, hopefully we're continuing to evolve. Do you still feel like that's how you're going to do it in 2021? So
Absolutely.
for you, that's right
Still
there.
have to know. Still have to know.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Where does go ahead.
It's right, babies. It's a waiting time for me, and it's only that me. I don't think it's a right or wrong time to have sex with somebody. It's really
Right.
what you're comfortable with. So for me, I tend to be more comfortable once I've gotten to know the person because I've dealt with some crazies, and so I don't want to have gave them some and then they get even more crazier. And so I tend to like to wait. That's just me myself. I like to be comfortable. So
okay. What about you, Kennard?
I mean, obviously, like as a dude, we tend to not have like some serious rules as to the, because I don't think if you go on a first date and the chemistry is going a certain way, you ain't gonna tell the woman, hey, I just can't do it. Now that could be it, but I'm just not that guy.
Okay.
Because if it's about, if we got that chemistry going and it's the first night, we wind up, messing around that night. That's where the path led. Now, at the same token, though, a lot of women may think, well, just because I sleep with this guy the first night, he's going to judge me. That's not necessarily true. We just got to the do a little bit quicker than hell we might have even thought of it. And if the chemistry is good and if the conversation is good, we're grown. We have sense enough to know that I'm pretty sure you don't do this shit with everybody. And even still, I'm still not that special, but this was our connection. You know what I'm saying? So going from that, I just don't think there's a set rule, especially for guys, as to whether they would, do something on a first date or something like that. So, it just depends on where the mood carries.
I agree 100%. And to even back that up, I've got several articles pulled up. They talk about this first stage as the honeymoon phase, the euphoric stage, and even they went all clinical on it. So I want to read something to you guys. It talks about in this early stage, many people show a decrease in activity in the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain that has to do with the negative judgment of people. The article goes on to talk about that in this stage, you pretty much like everything that person does. It's hard to find any negatives in this stage, and it made me really think about that in a real way, because me and my boy, I don't want to put names out there. We used to call it the great eye syndrome, in reference to the movie Lord of the Rings. When you first meet that woman, you don't see her flaws. and in that stage when you're in that honeymoon phase that you tend to ignore. I do. I'm gonna speak for me. I tend to ignore all the things that later on are probably going to piss me off. You know, I don't notice that she pops her gum when she talks, that she talks a little too loud when she's messing with her phone. You know,
Yeah.
all those little things that later is going to get on my nerves. But in this stage, that prefrontal cortex that it talks about, and then it was cool because it says the longer a couple can maintain suspension of negative judgment towards each other, the better chances they have of relationship success. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
I know
Absolutely.
Kennard probably agrees with it.
Okay, okay. Well, why you say that? Why you say that?
Because they're in the beginning of our relationship, there was an incident that occurred, and he always felt like I viewed him differently, and that I just treated him differently because of some things that came up in the beginning. But no, I can say this: I went through my honeymoon phase with Kennard in up to 2 years into our marriage. And then by the third year, it started fading and the real started coming out for me. And so now I think we've been married 6 going on 7 years now. So it's a struggle sometimes, and it just repeats itself because you just fall back in love again. Your relationship goes through different patterns. But yeah, those first 2 years I was in the honeymoon phase with him.
And that kind of proves that statement that the longer you can sustain that, because you know what, Candace, for so many people, they get past the honeymoon euphoric stage so quick that they don't take the time to enjoy it. When I was married, I don't know if they say this anymore. How you doing, D? What's up, baby? How you doing?
Hey guys.
You guys are married. I want y'all to tell me if this is still the case, because I've been divorced for a long time. But when I was married, do you know that back then, even when you was 3 years in, you were still considered newlyweds, even 3 years in, because you still was getting to know that person, and like until that point of that the longer you can sustain that level of not having negative judgments, you increase your chances of the relationship success because you're allowing so much room for that person to grow and to not be everything. But I find that in these new relationships, people, they rush through that honeymoon stage and all of a sudden they expect the person to be perfect, to be everything. So that's what I think. You know,
I don't think they even give themselves a chance to even have a honeymoon stage. How many times do we hear of someone who they met 2 weeks and within the month they're moving in together? It's like, good Lord, do you even know anything about this person? That they're really gonna get on your nerves then.
Absolutely. We see that with famous people a lot of times. They meet, next thing you know, they're engaged, they're married, and then we do this all the time, and we say, "Well, I give it a year, I give it 6 months," because you know that they don't really know that person.
If that,
you know, Tasha is way more harsh than I am. I try to give the people a year. You know, Tasha's like I give them to the summer.
Definitely.
Oh man,
Daracel, before we move on from this first stage, you know, we were talking about this first stage of dating where you attracted to somebody, you're getting to know them. What is it for you in that first stage when you meet the person that attracts you?
Usually with me, it's conversation. And I just like a man that can hold a conversation, that can keep my interest, that's funny, he's smart. He can just talk about a lot of different topics. That's what gets me, during the first stage. I mean, I told you this before, like looks really are my thing. I'm not too concerned about that. I kind of look more for the character of a person. So, yeah.
Okay. You and Candace share that. Is there sex during that first euphoric stage where you just okay, so there is a waiting period for you as well. I've always said Tasha's like a guy. Tasha said, bump that. I gotta know what I'm getting.
You gotta know.
Tasha said, I gotta know what the hell that I'm getting. Okay.
To me, that depends on what your end game is. If you're looking for a husband or whatever, you kind of want to make them wait, you know. But if you're looking to have fun, then it's whatever, you know. So
Oh, so you bring up an interesting point that Kennard talked about a little earlier. That I think sometimes women think that the longer they make us wait, that some kind of way that's going to mean that we're going to be more serious about them. When in reality, I think Kennard, you tell me if I'm wrong, we don't see it that way. We really and truly don't see it that way. That in many cases that can backfire. That well, for me, you can't make me wait too long. I'm not a waiter. You know, I'm not. First of all, I'm not gonna wait. You know,
Yeah, 'cause, we ain't got that kind of time.
I don't have that kind of time. That just me. In
I
fact,
hope
I get resentful when I've been in those situations where the person is putting me off. My mind starts plotting like a serial killer. I say, I'm gonna get this bitch. And when I get her, I'm gonna do her dirty. That's where my mind starts going. It it goes in a whole nother place. You know, I guess like you, Tasha, give me what I need so I can evaluate you. And because for me, that takes the pressure off things,
It
Darcel.
does.
That takes all of the pressure
no,
off.
but like for me, it builds up the excitement because if we get down on the first day, like what is left? I mean, you know, there's
I
a build
feel you.
and
I feel you.
I want a guy to do everything. He gonna show me his A game in those months leading up to that because he wanted so bad. That shows me your motivation, your drive, how long, your patience. You know, it shows me a lot about you. So yeah, they work hard. They take you everywhere and do everything. I mean, they bending over
I,
backwards.
I ain't
So
mad
yeah,
at you, baby. I ain't mad at you, baby. You got
I have
about
needs.
you got about 3 good days to before you give me
I have
give me what I
needs.
need.
Just like now, I'm starting to lose hearing in my right ear because I ain't had it in a minute, in 3 weeks. So,
and listen,
no.
you know what? Even when I was dating a guy, if we were in the waiting period, I got my toys, I got my battery operated, he still had to wait. So it's like
Nope, I'm tired of doing it myself. It ain't even fun no more.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. That just go to show you. So to wrap this portion up, I know for me, I will say this. My New Year's resolution, as far as this first stage, I've already started that. I spent all of 2020 being celibate. So I'm very proud of myself that I resisted falling for those same traps that I fell for. That for the first time in my adult life that I can remember, I am looking for something a little deeper. Because for me, I don't want to have sex just for the sake of having sex. It's a crazy thing now that I feel like I'm a new virgin or something, like I covet my virginity or something now.
you're
Like,
not.
you
You're
know,
not.
I'm not. Damn, can you gonna bust my little fantasy out here that I get to relive virginity all over again?
No,
No, no,
don't
you're
act
Well,
not a
like that.
virgin.
damn. How long I gotta wait? How long I gotta wait before I can say I'm a virgin again?
It don't
20
work like
years.
that. 20 years. I'm with Tasha.
20. For what you've done, 20 years.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. We're gonna go to stage 2. That's that stage where it's that curiosity, you're infatuated, and the interest is really there. And again, I wanna read something about that stage. This the dating stage. Now you move past talking. Now this is where you're spending more time together. You're doing various activities. You know, whether that's movies, bowling, concerts. As you said, Daracel, that person's showing you all of those things as to how he appreciates you leading up to it as friends at this stage, but you're developing that mutual interest in each other. But here's the last part I want to ask y'all about. Is it in this stage, are you still allowed to talk to other people?
Hell no.
Candace said yes.
Yes,
Oh,
you are.
Hell
Candace, go
no.
ahead. Oh, please go ahead, Candace.
So
Why? For you, why?
If we're getting to know each other, it's the dating period. I assume the man is still talking to people, so why can't I?
Good point. Good point.
For me, until we make it official, which I know people say you're single until you're married, but until we are in an exclusive relationship, I'm going to continue to date who I want to date.
All right. Tasha?
Nope.
And I would say,
go ahead. Dee.
no,
Go ahead,
you're
Dee.
good. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna
What?
say if we've gone through the talking stage, and initially that amount of time can vary. If we've gone on more than 10 dates, no, motherfucker, we're exclusively dating each other. Okay. Don't play with me like that. That's not cool. I've cut off everybody else. I'm like, okay, I'm found somebody I'm kind of serious about. I need to see where this is going. No. More than 10 dates? No. Don't even play with me like that.
Wow, that's interesting that you have a number.
Yes.
Okay. Darcel, go ahead.
I agree with Candace. Honestly, I think you're single till you marry. I can date whoever I want and I can have as many friends as I want until you say that I want to marry you. Beyond that, even if we're dating, that doesn't mean that things are going to get serious. So, I mean, you don't want to limit yourself, I think.
How can you build a platform, like a solid foundation with one person when you're entertaining multiple people?
You can though. I mean, I did it. I mean, honestly, you can. You kind of work up to that point. You single out like, the best of the best of the best. Honestly, and then I think it's for me, it's a point when if a person asks me to, can I be the only one? Will you only date me? Then I would, if I felt like it was reciprocated both ways. But other than that, I mean, if we just going on dates and you taking me out to movies and dinner, I mean, that ain't serious for me. I mean, I need to keep my options open.
Okay. What do you think about this, Kennard? In this stage where now you moved on to dating, is the person still for you at that stage? Is it okay for y'all to still see other people?
In my life, I've been on different ends of the spectrum when it comes to this. Some women, I might be depending on the level of attraction and the level of chemistry, especially when I was younger. Sometimes I might be trying to inadvertently lock her up on the sly, Or if it's a situation where I have semi-high interest, but not quite ready to get rid of all my side stuff. Then I might stretch it out a little bit until maybe it gets to a point where I want to settle down or to make this my main girl for now. And then at this stage too, you wind up getting caught up with what I talked about yesterday. Is just a girl that you can get away with. Just somebody you can buy some time until you meet. It's kind of like a job. You work in this job, and when you go on this job, you're like, I'm gonna just stick with this for about 6 months until I could probably find something that I really want. And then you mess around and get stuck. A matter of fact, the job that I have now, I told myself, no one else, I didn't have any luck getting hired anywhere else. So I was like, all right, so let me do this for about 6 months, get myself together, get my resume back going and all this other stuff. And 10 years later, I'm still there. So it just all depends on what phase or what mindset you are in with that particular person as to whether you're ready to either give it all up or just keep the game going, keep your rotation going. And then, as one woman, they start to gain more of your interest. I mean, that cutoff game is real. When you get into a real relationship, as a man, at least in my experience, man, you can cut those chicks off quick. And they'll come calling you talking about what happened. What the fuck you mean you got a girlfriend? What are you about to get married? What kind of shit? And I thought, no, you thought.
And we went through that too.
Right.
We went through that.
Yeah, you didn't think. Didn't think right. Like you didn't. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is where I disagree. So he cut off these so-called chicks, but they reemerged again. So my thing is, if like I've had male friends before him guys that I've dated and guys that I didn't date, I didn't cut anybody off. They just respected. I moved in a way where they knew that I was dealing with Kennard. So I didn't have to cut them off because they never got disrespectful. Can y'all see my connection? I feel like I'm freezing.
No.
But-
Well, you freeze a little bit, but we can hear you.
But he cut these chicks off, which I was like, why would you do that if these are just friends? And then these chicks came back years later, and I had to set some people straight. I had to set him straight, and I had to set some people straight.
See?
So that's why it's like relationships and other people, it is very tricky. Like it's all about you and how you move, though, I think, and what you allow.
Yeah.
For me, when I read this to me is the most dangerous stage, the dating stage, and just even listening to you guys, because for Tasha, for you got a 10-day thing that, look, you fuck with me, you stuck with me. You know, you that's how you know.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? And I know she's serious. I know she's serious. I ain't playing on that. Darcel is like, no, shit, I'm a free entity. You know, I'm still trying to weigh whether or not you're the real deal. You still gotta show me some things. You know what I'm saying? Listening to Kennard and Candace, all that's tricky. You know, just listen to what y'all been through.
Let me say this. I just recently told him, because I guess he did not know that I was dating other people while I was talking to him. So I told him about this crazy guy. And he was like, well, you dating him? I was like, when we first started talking. And he was like, what? You was still dating people?
Yeah.
That's where I'm going with this. This is the most dangerous stage, because this is where you're trying to, if one person might be falling deeper than the other, it's more serious for one than the other. I tend to lean with Darcel. In this stage, for me, I think you're a free entity. My expectation is you're dating other people. So I can't control, and for you, you've made your mind up. Oh, he's in. I'm going to put some curtains up in this motherfucker's house. You know what I'm saying? You know, because for me, I'm still looking around, feeling out things, because I like some of the parts that says, in this stage, you're not really trying to so much impress them anymore. You know, you're still trying to figure out, well, what can this person do for me? That's where I am in this stage. And so that's the most tricky stage for me, because of the timing of it all. You're, like Kennard says, you're with them for your reasons. And that's the crazy part, because those reasons could be, I love the analogy he gave about the job. You might be thinking short term. You know, I talked about in the beginning of this conversation about cuffing season. It might be just for winter. Look, I ain't gonna go nowhere through winter. I'm gonna stay with her through winter, and then I'm gonna look around. But like he said, you might fall deeper also when they're in that stage, and like, damn, because I'm gonna tell you guys this. I got married by accident, in a way. I truly got married by accident. I remember I went into this a little bit on last night's show. My wife, I had dated her mom, then her best friend. So I was dating her best friend, and we were kind of up and down in between. We had broke up for a couple of weeks, and this one particular night, I'm gonna tell you this short story. One particular night, my wife, who was her best friend, we was riding to see my girlfriend. Me, my friend, and my soon-to-be wife. I decided on this trip, which was going to take it was 38 miles to trip, so it was going to be about a 20-something minute drive. I said to myself, I'm going to fuck with her. I don't want to say her name. I literally said, I'm going to have a little fun with her. So I started flirting with her in the car. The trip, the 38 miles it took, by the time we got there, she was locked in, fully interested, because she took everything I was saying as serious, and I was just flirting. So we get there to my girlfriend, and that night was so weird, because now my girlfriend comes out of the house, and I'm reconnecting with her, but my soon-to-be wife is now like, oh no, you done said some shit to me in this car that now we kind of need to explore this. And it was a weird night. And make a long story short, by the time we left and got back home, my soon-to-be wife was like, "Look, I'm interested in you now, so blah blah blah." And I was caught in a weird situation, that started by accident, and I didn't want to love her. I'm gonna say it this way: I didn't want to fall in love with her. I thought that I'll play around a little bit and sneak around and cheat. And I ended up falling for her. It got to a point that the more time I spent with her, I don't know if it's ever happened to you. It got to the point where I was terrified. I was thinking, "Oh shit, I think I love this girl," because it got to the point where I wanted to see her more than I wanted to see my girlfriend. So now it's like, "Oh my God, what am I going to do here?" And that's literally how I started dating my wife at the time. It was kind of by accident. It wasn't planned. And so this dating stage to me is the most dangerous stage. So somebody on here, Chifana Hills and Mills say, "Woo, I love that you speak your truth. Much respect." I don't. I tell it all how it is. This is therapeutic for me. I get it all out, so that's why I sleep like a baby. Just so you know that I don't
You know what? You are the reason, Freddie, that women keep their options open. Because what if I was dating you thinking that we about to get married and you in love with my best friend? No.
Exactly.
And this is why I say after 10 dates, you don't need to be talking to nobody else. After 10 dates. It's me and you.
Deep. Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's true.
Oh my God, D, you cut me deep. You cut me deep, All right. But at the same time, that's what this is all about. As I hope, I'm opening up, and I cannot be the only guy who think this way. My brother, I speak on it. I cannot be the only guy.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, most of my cloudy periods of dating have been in this stage. You know what I'm saying? Everything, the vision is kind of blurred during this stage. Yes. Matter of fact, I can think of a couple of relationships that I thought were headed in a certain direction, and because of the curiosity, interest, and infatuation, I fell into a point where either I was trying to be in a physical situation with this person and move on, or a lot of guys don't know this. Sometimes women just want to fuck too. You know what I'm saying? In certain, they might have just gotten out of a relationship and they just want to get back in the field real quick. And they might find you attractive, might find you fun. They may send you text messages talking about, "I've been thinking about you all day and I couldn't sleep," think all this bullshit that they say, and it makes it appear that they like you or really want to be with you, when at the end of the day, guys have to realize that you can be that on that side dude,
a dick in the jar.
that she needs, huh?
I said a dick in the jar type of guy.
Yeah,
I was about to say that though.
Yes,
but either way, to be that guy, and some guys don't like to acknowledge because of ego purposes that's what they were. Mm-hmm. Now that I look back on it, a lot of times I'm thinking we headed it towards a real relationship, and I was just something for her to to ease her itching for that minute, and then she moves on to and then she takes the time and gets over the guy she was with, and then you look later on and they're in a real relationship where I was just the guy to kind of get her back in the playing field, so to speak.
Well, I'll say this to add to that. It seems like a lot of women today do that. It's not even about a relationship, because I've seen things about a dick appointment now and all of that stuff. Correct. So this is all new to me. I wish it was out back then.
Absolutely. But Darcel, you made me think of how right you are. Even in my time, it's weird because I was sleeping with a lot of these women unprotected. I might even have some babies out there, but they didn't put them on me because they knew that I wasn't going, Stop that, Natasha. But it's the
And you
truth.
weren't the only one.
You know, my thing was, I do think I was the guy that, you know what, I like him, but he ain't gonna do right. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even think
Right.
about settling. So you're right. Let me keep my options open. You know. But now the beauty of it was I was still able to be the dick in the jar, Candace, and I didn't mind. Now, personally, I didn't mind being the dick in the jar. Call me, baby. You know, but I'm trying to do better. Trying to do better.
I think that that's realistic though.
We'll see.
With women, I think that we know that a lot sooner about different men that we're dealing with, of how we're going to deal with them. Like we know in your case,
Right.
we know he ain't gonna do right, so let's just use
Right.
him for
Right.
just for what I need at that time, and then let's move on.
Right.
And in some instances now, that those are conversations that I've had. That okay, look, this ain't gonna be what it's gonna be. This isn't gonna be any more than what this is. I'll call you when I'll call you. I'll see you when I see you. But then that's it.
Right. Sherry, turn your
But
music down.
the awkward thing is when men want more and you don't. That's the
Mm.
where it gets a little shady. When they're the
Yeah.
ones wanting way more and you're the one saying no, 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 this ain't that.
And they get crazy, like
Yeah.
in that situation
Yes.
because of their egos.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
like sound, baby.
Okay, okay, no, no, no. I want you to tell what you mean by that cause of our ego, Candace.
I've dealt with men that, first of all, they automatically have this perception of me as this good girl. Oh, she wants to be a wife just because I waited to have sex. And so I might have waited to have sex. It wasn't good and they got ghosted. And so they're like, what, what happened? Where they'll keep calling.
Okay, okay,
I did this for you. I
okay,
did that. Or I've had
Hmm.
a married man
Wait a minute.
that like literally stalked me after I cut it off. And
okay.
he would sit outside of my apartment and smoke these cloves. And I would go outside, get like when I'm going to work, I see his clothes right there. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this man has been
That's a
sitting
red
out here all
flag right there.
Wow, wow,
Mhm.
wow.
And then
That's a
when
red
he
flag
divorced
right
his
there.
wife, because I was with my first husband, we were going through our separation. He's like, "Is your divorce finalized yet?" Because I'm ready to make it official. I'm like, "Negro." Like I had to literally go to the police to get like a restraining order.
Okay,
Um,
okay. I get that. I get that. And so again, that's why I think this stage is the most dangerous. You know, because you're still trying to figure out where you stand with each other, and like you said, Darcel, it can get real awkward if one person fall farther than the other, and that's why it's tricky, you know. So we lost Sherry. Hopefully we'll get her back. I know Kennard's going to come back on. Let's go on to stage number 3 because now it's getting a little serious. Now it's getting a little serious. You've been on dates. You got some stuff in common. You clearly still like each other, feeling each other. So, Tasha, we've hit this stage of dating exclusively. For
Yes.
you, it's 10 dates. I don't know about for nobody else, whether they counting them, but you finally hit the stage of dating exclusively. Now, this is obviously where you cut off everybody. It's all about you. You know, I'm just trying to get to know you. And so in some of these articles, one of the things it talked about calling this a stage of enlightenment, because this is where you become a couple. This is where
mhm.
both halves of the couple will notice weaknesses and differences or flaws. Cute habits might become irritating at this stage. Some of those
Yes.
perpetual issues or differences, such as free spending or frugal, neat and orderly, sloppy, disorganized, you know, this is where in that stage those things start to emerge. And that's what I was talking about for me, that all of those things that I was blinded for, that now all of a sudden
Mhm.
that great eye syndrome comes into play, that man,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't know she did this and I didn't know she did that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about this stage for you. And since we're talking about New Year, I want to kind of keep this thing where we're talking about New Year's resolutions and maybe what we're doing differently. So we got married and we got single on here. I wish we had another single guy on here. I wish your cousin was on here, Candace. So we're gonna talk about it from two different perspectives. So for you married folks, in this stage where you became a couple, what was it like for you in terms of weathering that to make it past that? And there's a reason why I'm asking as a single person. I usually don't make it past this stage. My patience, um, I'm an older guy, my temperament, when you lived alone as long as I have, this is my biggest struggle, just so you guys know. This for me is I told Tasha this recently. I have ran off a lot of good women in this stage. They might have been good for me. I was attracted to them, but I couldn't weather the storm of this stage of now the honeymoon stage is over and I'm seeing the real person. How did you guys get past that? Please tell me.
Well, one
I
of the
think
things
from
I actually, oh, I'm sorry.
no, go
Uh-oh.
ahead.
Okay. One of the things for me was it was actually it's that stage where, like you said, before you even gave the definition, I was going to call it the stage where the mascara comes off, and that's where all the real shit starts to come about.
I like that.
Where the things that was that didn't irritate that other person, it started. And I even told Candace one time, I was like, you used to didn't at one time you didn't care about that. So why is this a thing now? And then I think it came into a point where now we're not necessarily now we're together, but now we're basically holding each other at a different level of accountability. This part of the relationship, this is where all the high level accountability, where the rubber meets the road. And this is the part, even for me, in past relationships, usually I didn't make it past this stage. Sometimes I even purposely sabotage the situation because I'm like, fuck that. I do not want to go any further. I like the first two stages, but now this shit is getting too real for me. I've been basically single for the good majority of my adult life. And now this accountability is starting to hit. I mean, no, but with I think this is the stage, if you can survive it, I think this is a stage to where, especially if done, I'm not going to say done right because everybody's situation is different, but if it's done in a real effective way, this is a stage that could actually lead to a potentially either long-term good genuine long-term relationship,
right,
or a good long-term genuine marriage. But this is a hard stage to get through. I'm gonna go ahead.
When was this stage for you?
don't answer that question. Don't answer that question.
Oh no, I'm gonna answer.
Okay. Okay.
No, I'm gonna answer it. The stage was when, like I said before, I'm a very observant person, and I take into account a lot of things, and I remember a lot of things. And like I said before, you know, sometimes I would leave my clothes on the floor, or I would do certain things that in a disorganized kind of way. And all of a sudden, it used to be where you would look past. That's kind of one of the reasons why I thought, oh, okay, she might be all right, because I know I'm naturally junky. So I'm like, oh, she might be all right. But then all of a sudden, you know, it's a problem. I'm like, this is going to be a long-term problem because this is something that I've never been able to fix.
Let me say when that happened though. When me and Kadar first started dating, I left a job in Texas and moved to Georgia and did not work for a full year. And so at that time, I was taking care of the home. It was easy for me to clean up. So a year later, we moved to Atlanta and I'm working now. So it's like I need help with the house and the responsibilities. And he's still throwing his stuff on the floor, not taking into account that I work 8-9 hour days like him. So it's like that was why that changed. But for me at that time, we were still in the honeymoon period. When it changed for me, when it seemed like we got out of it, it was when we were in our 3rd year of marriage. I got pregnant with Camille. I'm at AIU with our company with Black, and it was just, I saw the real side of him. I don't know. They say a lot of men cheat when a woman is pregnant. I don't think he did that to me, but I really feel like he viewed me differently, and I saw a different side of him.
So let me ask y'all something.
Yeah.
Because Son brings up that point. He said you got to be friends, Hassan, you said that, once you get past that lovey-dovey stage, see, Hassan, that was my problem. I don't know if you caught the first part of it. I jumped in with both feet because she had a big butt and a smile, so I never became her friend. So for you guys, you said for you 3 years in, Kennard, you said that when you realized she was holding you at a certain level of accountability, to Hassan's point, was it for you that you realized that, man, this is my friend, that we're not just married, but we're friends?
Well,
I feel
I'd
like
established that.
in the beginning, yeah.
Okay. I
Mhm.
Yeah,
that's
I
that's part of
established
my
that a
problem.
while back.
That's a big part of my problem.
Yeah.
Daricel, I know you got something to say on this. So
I want to say for me, this stage is it may sound bad the way I say it, but it's the training stage. I mean, if you're dating somebody in order to find a husband or a wife or whatever, and for me, it was a husband, like, it was the point where I was like, I like things this way and this. I mean, I'm a bit of a control freak a little bit. Y'all
okay,
probably already got that, but I like things done a certain way.
right.
And so if you want to be in my space, you have to adapt to the way that and even now, my husband he doesn't clean the way I like, but he makes an effort, which I'm okay with. You have to give a little bit in that sense that it may not be exactly the way you like, but leaving the clothes on the floor, leaving the toilet seat up was my big thing. Like, you cannot, if we don't share the same space, that was the biggest pet peeve for me. So, and then for me, some of the things that you do, it's just kind of thinking about the other person, a little bit of forethought in it. So for a guy, and for me, it was like, if you're leaving the toilet seat up, you're not really thinking about me. And that, if I'm going to the bathroom at 3 a.m. or whatever, so that was more of it. But Steve and I have always been friends. We've known each other for like,
I do
I
know
don't
that.
know,
I
a
do know
long
that.
time. So we party together, we drink together, we serious together, everything. So he's always been my friend. So it was just kind of easy to transition to being in a relationship.
Daricel, I want to give you a chance to respond because Hassan said, no training here, bro. That's crazy as hell. You do have to compromise for real, though. He said, but training? So he's objecting to that word training, even though you kind of said maybe that's not the right word.
Training. Let me take that back. I said it right. Hassan.
Hassan, she said what she said is what she said.
I was
She,
trying to be a little delicate for the man, but since he had to come back, yeah, training. I mean,
Hassan, she said that's what I said. Tasha, we're single, and I hope Terry, are you on? I know your face is not there. Terry, okay, we got it.
Yeah, I'm here.
So we got 3 single people. Hold on for me a second, Tasha.
Okay.
Terry, you coming into this conversation?
Yeah, I was cooking, but I'm hearing that crazy talk. I hear it. Yeah, I hear it.
Come on, my brother. Come on, my brother.
I feel like me and Terry gonna fight when we see each other in real life.
Hassan said that's not the right word. So Terry, get in here, my brother. We on stage number 3 where it's exclusively dating. Talk to us.
Well, yeah, I mean, I heard her say training. I mean, maybe she do train her man. If it works for her, I mean, kudos to her. But I'm like, your boy, ain't nobody training me.
Are you
know,
married?
No,
Maybe
I'm not
that's
married.
why. Okay.
It's not trained.
Maybe it's true. Maybe I'm untainable. So hey, maybe I get it from my uncle. Who knows? But
I believe that.
yeah. But then some other comments. I mean, it could go both ways. But I hear women all the time like a man should be, considerate and let the seat down. Like, how long does it take to let it down? Like a second? I mean, you just flip it down. Like, so what's the big deal? Like, why women always make a big deal about it? I don't want it. I don't want it down. So
I got something to say.
I don't think that's a big problem. But
It is, but there's so much forethought in that. Number one, like,
okay.
women have fallen in the toilet. I'm one of those people, it's 2 a.m. I mean, there's just a lot of thought that goes behind that. Like, okay, I know what she needs, so let me do this. And like you said, it takes 2 seconds to put it down for me, but it also takes 2 seconds for you to put it down when you use it. I don't need the toilet seat up. So, I mean, it's an easy fix either way.
It is an easy fix either way. So yeah, I agree with you, but I don't know.
I gotta interject then. So if it's such an easy fix, once you finish pissing, why wouldn't you say then, well, he might come behind me next, so let me leave it up.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
unhygienic, first of all, to be even
Thank
leaving the
you.
toilet seat all the way
I'm
up.
just
That's
asking.
unhygienic,
I'm
period.
just
It's
asking.
nasty.
I'm
Thank
just
you.
It's
asking.
nasty.
It's unhygienic.
Yes,
didn't know
it's
that.
nasty just to leave the toilet seat completely up. I'm talking about I put everything all the way down just because that's a toilet and I don't want any of that particles up in my air. That's just me.
So when you
Okay.
walk in the bathroom, you don't look down first to see whether the seat is up or down.
Exactly. Like, how do you fall in? Like, you don't look.
Someone said, just pay attention.
I have before. I ain't gonna lie. I've fallen in before, and it makes you mad. I mean, that's. I don't know about everybody else, but I have.
I'm joking about this, but on a serious note, there's just as many inconsiderate
Mm.
things that women do that it can go both ways, that can require a little bit of forethought.
Like what?
Okay, for me, okay. Oh, I got an answer. For me, I don't want to see no nasty hairs in the shower stall. I don't know where them damn hairs came from. I don't know if they came off your head, your pubic area. What the hell you been doing in there? You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
That's pretty nasty to me.
It be all on the carpet, on the floor, it just be everywhere. Like, man, vacuum this shit up.
If we gonna go there, like
The
for
guys
real,
do the same thing. Y'all shave. It's on the sink. It's
I don't. I don't. But again, you get
Some
up in the
men do.
morning and you rush to
Some
put
men
your
do.
makeup on and comb
Y'all
your hair.
pee all on the
Now I'm
toilet
coming
seat, on
behind
the
you.
walls, on the floor. I don't know how y'all aim is so off, but
Man,
like,
aim.
do the toilet need to be up higher? Or what? It's like,
You like never master that. I don't know. You like never master it. It seemed like you would, but it's hard.
This is a
It's
hard
hard.
stage for me. This stage, the stage 3, because for me it really
too.
is
Me
make
too.
or break, because I'm very open, I'm very honest, and most of the time you're gonna come to my house because I don't want to go to your house. I'm sorry, you're a man. My house is way more comfortable. I don't want to go to your house.
And see, I got a problem with that, but okay.
So, and when you come to my house, let's say like you're taking a shower or something, I'm looking at all of that, and I'm gonna hint to that, like, hey, don't do that, don't leave that towel right there, don't hang the towel right, like, please don't do that. I'm gonna say that, but after I've said it so many times, and it's built up to such a level for me, I'm gonna get mad because I have a lot of hair. I have 2 dogs. I'm very, very particular about my place. So you're never gonna follow up behind me and see hair in the shower and everything, or hair everywhere. That's no.
I give her
So-
credit because I lived with her. I give her credit. But Tasha, I'm gonna put you on the spot, baby. I love you,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna
I
put
know
you
I
on
got
the
some
spot.
soul issues. I know.
Because
I know.
Darcel, I'm going to rope you in this. You brought up training, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Her last relationship, just so the viewers know, if he came over, he can't shower before she showers.
No.
He can't go lay in the bed before she lay in the bed. He has to, as long as
No.
she's sitting up in the living room, he got to sit up in the living room.
Yes,
Why?
I have control issues. This is my thing. For the shower thing, I don't want to follow behind you because I don't like to follow in the shower with someone and it's all hot and sweaty. Everything is all wet in there. I don't like my soap is wet.
It's a shower. It's a
None of that.
shower.
No, fuck that. No. And
It's a
then
shower.
also
It's supposed
the
to be hot and
bed.
sweaty.
My bed is, I'm very, very particular. I have to arrange my pillows in such a way. And if you get on my side of the bed and you get my sheets all hot before I get in there, get out of my bed. Just go sleep in the living room. Don't get in my bed.
So you know her boyfriend worked at FedEx. He did a physical job and was tired and worked physically tired. And if he came over, first of all, she's not going to his house. She wouldn't meet any of his family members. She never took that boy even a fucking snack lunch up to his job. You know?
You can't access the property anyway. So there's gates. You can't go up there anyway.
Come on, Josh.
You can't access the property.
If he comes over and he's tired, he got to sit up till she ready to go to bed.
Damn right. That's my bed.
That is one place I would not visit.
Does he find all this out in 10 days?
I respect your rules. I mean, that's your house. You pay rent. You can make whatever rules you want.
Thank
But
you,
I
Terry.
Deserve
tell,
to.
but I would
I will
tell
not
him.
be over there.
Thank you, Terry.
But I would tell him that you can stay at your house. He still made a conscious decision to come to my. I didn't invite him to my house every day. He invited himself. You're more
Yeah.
than welcome to come over, but there are rules when you come to my house. I'm sorry.
I gotta go here for one more thing. We had a conversation, y'all, just last night. We were talking about what is if what's a proper time for a man to come in. I gotta ask this question before I tell you what her answers was. Daracel, if Steve goes out, Daracel and Candace, if
Okay,
your
well,
husband
Sabrina's on the
goes
way.
out,
Sabrina,
if your husband goes out
okay.
and hanging
All right,
out
thank you,
with the
MK.
boys, hanging out with
Oh,
the
y'all do
boys.
5:30? Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to mute his mic, but
He's dealing with work. So
that's okay. That's okay. But Darcel and Candace, if your husband goes out, he's out with the boys on a sports club. What time does he have to be in? What time do you consider the cutoff before you would say, well, that's disrespectful for him to come in?
okay, so I know. Well, first of all, we live in Atlanta, so for me, I know everything closes at 2. So we're an hour from everything. So he should be walking in the door at 3. Anything past 3 o'clock is like, okay, what the hell is going on? Because what is the old saying? Only liquor stores and legs are open after 2 o'clock.
Does it matter if it's a weekday? Does it matter if it's a weekday and a weekend?
No, it doesn't matter for me.
Darcel, for you, what's the cutoff time that is disrespectful if he comes in?
I'm gonna say no later than probably like 12 or 1, because whatever you need to do, you can do it before then. I mean, I consider it taken to the fact that he's probably worked, he's getting off work, and he's going out after that. But 12, 1-ish, if you come in at 3, like Candace, you ain't gonna be getting in the house. You can sleep
Black's
wherever you
laughing
want
because he's
up to
making
3.
fun of me because of my
You
answer.
can sleep there.
Me and her was going head up last night over this conversation.
Let me explain. This is my thing.
Wait, what was your time first?
Okay, well, I'm gonna explain. I have different
Okay.
time frames for the weekdays when you're supposed to be working and the weekends. Sunday through Thursday, we live in Memphis. You ain't got no business being out past 10 o'clock during the weekday.
Oh, 10 o'clock?
Girl.
You have to work. Damn right. You have to work. I have to work. And I know me. If you come in past 10 o'clock on a weekday, you're going to wake me up and I'm going to be pissed. So you can't
What
come
if
to
he
my
get
house
off
at
at
10
9
o'clock.
o'clock?
Past 9 o'clock. If you get off work at 9 o'clock, you ain't got no business going to kick it with nobody. Keep your ass at home. No, go home. Now on the weekend, now on the Fridays and Saturdays, 2 o'clock. I think is a cutoff time for the weekends. That gives you time to go to a club, whatever you want to do. But for the weekdays, no, you have to work in the morning. No, you're not going to be disturbing my sleep because you want to be out partying and it's Memphis. Ain't nothing open that motherfucking late here. Nothing.
We argue because she's deadly serious. I've seen her actually hold the guy to that standard.
Yes.
And I told her I love her. It couldn't be me.
You can't come to my house that late. I'm not leaving my house that late. You can't come to my house that late at all.
Which is why they call, to your point, Kennard, stage 3, they listed as the crisis stage. They said this third stage is often a make or break point for relationships. What happens at this stage is crucial to what comes next. And I like this part.
So here's my question, Natasha.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get to the third? It seems like you get to the third stage within the 10 days.
No, it's not 10 days. It's not. It's 10 dates.
10 dates.
No, after,
10 dates.
and that's
10 dates.
Dates, because number one, I'm not going to see you that much in a 1 month period anyway. Right. And my whole thing by the time we get to this one where we're exclusive, where it's just me and you've already pissed me off. It's already I'm looking for a way out. Honestly, I'm looking for a way out at that time. You've made me mad because you're not following the directions I've laid out for you. I give you the roadmap. I'm not hard to please at all. I'm not hard to please. but please be respectful when
You
you come to my
sound hard
house.
to please.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
really not.
Because of a
I would
woman.
be,
you
I
see
would
me,
be
you see
afraid
me,
to
right?
date
What
you.
if a
I'm
man holds you to the same standards that you hold him to? Would you be
please,
okay with that?
please hold me to the same standards, please, because I'm not doing anything like that. Please hold me to the same standards. I'm gonna
But
be
it,
just as
Even the
respectful.
shower
you
thing, the
sound, you
control
sound,
thing,
she sounds like a warden at a
Ah,
prison.
Yes, I am. I am. Even to the shower thing. This is my thing. It's like I understand everyone wants to run their household a certain way. And that's why
right.
for me, I could say, okay, I just won't come to your house, or I'll come already showered to your house. Things like that. That's what I would
Yeah.
take into consideration. I'll come
Yeah.
pre-showered.
So I got a question. And that's why I wanted to explore this, and we talked about this in really, really good detail. So Tasha, I'm gonna
Yes.
start with you. We're
Okay.
talking about. I'm not picking on you, baby. Just so you know.
Oh
But
no.
the name of the topic is New Year's resolutions, 4 stages of dating. I'm gonna ask you again, and seriously, for 2021 going forward, would you change anything about that?
Possibly, yeah. But
Okay.
this is, in all honesty, I know how controlling I am.
Okay.
Black, you know, from
I
having been with
know.
me, you
I
know
know.
how controlling I am, and everything has to be just so. So yeah, no, that's legitimate. Like I would work on that,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. And
So
that's kind of for real, for real. It's funny at the same time, as single people, we're trying to get to where you are one day, hopefully. And so my thing is, she knows that I've talked to her about this with love. There's certain things you gotta give. There's got to be some give and take in there to where. And what I've said to her, for instance, is that if I'm a man, I'm dating you. Somebody talked about a male ego earlier. Please come up to my job and bring me a damn sandwich, so that at least my ego, my coworkers can see that I got a woman that give a damn about me.
if you
You know
can
what I'm saying?
access the property, fine. But
You know,
some properties don't. FedEx
okay.
doesn't allow that. They don't allow that.
Okay. So let's eliminate that out. Let's eliminate that out. But you know what I'm saying? That like, show
Right.
me that that I matter too, and that damn, give up some of the control that that man come in. He want to lay down. You don't have to be in the same room with him, looking at you every minute. And
Right.
if the bed is warm a little bit on your side, well, damn it, just get in there and shut up.
Now that wasn't the only thing. He would like to get in the bed without being showered, and that would piss me off too.
That's a whole nother.
nasty.
That's a whole nother conversation, right? That's a
That's
whole
nasty.
nother. Now that part, that's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
That's a whole nother. But I'm just
The
saying,
biggest
like,
part of relationships, though, dating or married, is compromise. And you got it. You're not going to get everything you want, and he's not going to get everything he wants. But you
Oh, I
guys
know.
meet somewhere in the middle where everybody is happy. And that's how you have a long, successful relationship, marriage, or whatever. As long as you got all the control and he feels like he your subordinate and he in jail and you the warden, it's never going to work because he always feel like you got something on him. But that moment where you're willing to give a little bit, even just the shower. Say you can lay down on my side as long as you shower first. That might be the first step.
No, I'm not compromising on my side of the bed. I'm not.
now let me add this, but let me add this last part in there too.
Stay
Now,
over there.
to the guy's fault, he was not a strong guy either.
Right.
He was not a strong guy either. So I will say that.
Well, we could tell that. Yeah,
Exactly. Because here's
But
what I will tell you
a
about
strong man,
us.
that's not gonna work. If there's a strong man, it's not gonna work.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you. Her situationship, he ain't going.
He don't pay me no mind at
He
all.
ain't going for that.
He
And that's
don't
what
pay
I
me
like
no
about
mind.
him.
Thank you.
He gonna come in and tell her, look, you know what this is.
He
And do
he
what he
don't pay
do.
me no mind at
And
all. He
fellas,
laughs at it. He thinks it's
fellas,
funny.
she loved that shit. So
Shit is kind of
you know
funny.
what I'm saying? That ought to tell you that whole demure, I'm gonna
Right.
respect your every wish kind of shit. That don't always work. Like I said in Candace's show, pull her hair, put a rope around her neck and a belt, and handle your business, partner. I'm gonna tell you. So anyway, anybody got anything to add? before we go to the final
No,
stage?
I wanted to say I echo these thoughts, but also in a relationship, you have to remember you're two individuals and you still have you. So I guess for me and my husband, the reason why we work, we still remember that we were two separate people prior to our marriage. We both need our me time. And so just like he goes out, I
I
go
like
out.
that.
So
I like that.
so it's yes, marriage is a compromise, but you still know you. I'm not so deep into my
That
marriage
is
that I've
a
lost myself.
that is a brilliant point. When I was married, the reason why we were able to stay married so long, we always, at our best, we lived in a 3-bedroom, whether it's an apartment or a house, because that allowed her to have a room for her to do her whatever she did in there. We were very different people. She liked to read and listen to Mariah Carey and go out in the yard and do that kind of shit. And that's not my thing. I had my own thing. And even women I've dated, you're right, Candace. You need that personal space to still evolve as a person. And me and Tasha was talking about this the other day. I have a king size bed. Don't be right up on me. I need a little bit of space. That, no matter how big the bed is, like damn, But anyway, that's a whole nother.
I get no argument. Stay on your side of the bed. Over there. Stay over there.
But you need to still be your own person. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
Let's go to stage 4. So this is the stage of commitment and engagement. So this is that final stage where you've attained to a relationship. You've made a mutual agreement to become a couple. And I like the way they put this. It's just you and me, point blank, period. Now, like Kanawha said earlier, I have sabotaged relationships before I got to this stage out of fear. And I'm working through my own fear in this. But I'm going to start with you, Terry. You're a single guy in this. What do you plan to do different as far as maybe in relationships to get to this stage? Or do you want to get to that stage?
So when I came in, I think I caught the tail end of it, and
Okay.
I've done it too. Like I've sabotaged relationships plenty of times, out of fear, out of like I don't really like her or she likes me too much. But one thing that I have been doing lately is I think kind of like what we spoke on a few days ago, like letting myself be vulnerable,
Right.
and going out with women who are not my type, who are definitely not my type.
Ooh.
So.
Oh, please, no, I can't let that go without you expounding on that. No, because y'all don't understand.
Yeah.
Y'all don't understand how big that is.
One. I like.
Y'all don't understand how big that is. Hear my nephew say that. So Terry, what do you mean by that?
Because I have a special type, me. I like yellow bones, light skinned women. That's what I'm attracted to. Women who are curvy. No disrespect, but I'm not into like dark skinned women. Even though I've dated dark skinned women in the past, I'm not attracted to women with short hair. I hate when women cut their hair off. And so somebody I'm hanging out with now, she's dark. She has short hair. It's actually shorter than mine.
Okay.
In the past, never in a million years would I went out with her. It just wouldn't happen.
Man.
So
I like that.
But yeah, you never know. Might be my problem. I'm always looking for my type. Maybe my type is something different. So just been open up.
I love it.
That's good.
Okay. D, I'm coming to you, sweetheart. You married. You're like one of the favorite characters on my show. So absolutely, you're a fan favorite. Or you get the tongues of wagging.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna put you on the spot. Because again, your husband's making niggas step their game up. Your birthday was just what, Saturday?
My birthday was Thursday. He played with surprise and I don't know if y'all can see my diamond earrings.
Look at her showing off.
Who cares? You ain't gotta look that close.
Nice. That's nice. Oh no, I wasn't capping. I was trying to see it for real. No.
So real talk.
Yeah.
You're at that stage. What are you guys doing to keep that fresh? Because how long have you been married?
Like 6 years.
And you have 2 kids.
Yes, we've been together a lot longer than that.
Right, but that's why. See, that's what exactly. As long as I've known you, Steve has always been there. No, seriously, you know. So
The
that's
funny
why.
thing is, he asked me several times to get married, and I said no. And not because I didn't want to be with him, but because the ideas that I have seen of marriage were not successful. They were
Okay.
always toxic, and they always ended in divorce. So that was my idea of marriage. So, his thing was like, well, I can show you different. So, give it a chance. So that's, we dated for a long time, and I said no quite a few times, but
And I know this personally,
yeah.
but as Beyonce say, he put a ring on it, and you seriously, but my thing is, talk to us a little bit about what it takes to keep that level of freshness that for your birthday in the middle of a freaking pandemic, your husband said, I'm gonna take you to Jamaica. Seriously.
Right. Um, well, just because I will say this about Steve. He pays attention to the things that I need. And I notice, like, I'm not saying all men, I notice some men don't do that. He can tell when my mood changes, he can tell when I'm stressed. And for him, it's, he is such a like just such a good, genuine person. And he always wants to do what's best for me. And that's the one thing that I appreciate about him most. I mean, he's a great father, he's a great husband. He's always like looking out for me, trying to do what's best for me. So, I mean, how we keep it fresh, we go out on dates all the time without the kids. We go on vacation without the kids. We have a long time, and that's what keeps it like you're dating. I mean, so
I
for us,
wanted you to go there. That's where
I
I
feel
wanted you to
like
get to.
we're still in the honeymoon phase, even though it's 20 years later. I mean, we, not to be graphic, but we have sex quite a bit, probably more than most couples,
I'm glad you said that because that was
because
what I
we keep
talked
it
about at the
fresh.
beginning.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm glad she said that. I wanted my viewers to hear that part because when I started the show, I was like, well, if we're talking about dating for a married couple, they might be, what am I going to get out of this? And that's what we was talking about at the beginning, that you can still go back to the fundamentals, that
Mhm.
what it took to get the person, you have
Right.
to keep doing that. And so to
Right.
keep it fresh, to hear her say that they go on dates without the kids, they still have a healthy sex life, and he's paying attention because I got to tell you, for a lot of men, including myself, you get to a point where you get complacent. Somebody said it in the comments earlier. I think Jennifer said it. When you get to sometimes you get to that point where, okay, I've been with you for a while. You start to take each other for granted. You don't mean to all the time, but it
Right.
just happens. So it's not that you go out of your way, but I like the fact that you're talking about that he's making a concerted effort to hear what you need. And one of the reasons I'm saying that, on our last few shows, you was not, that smile, that energy wasn't there.
Yep.
No, really?
I
And
agree.
everybody noticed it.
It wasn't.
Everybody noticed it. And we were beginning to wonder, honestly, we know what you do for a living as a nurse. Well, damn, is what she's seeing every day really wearing down on her? I know that
Yeah.
you spend part of your week away from your children. And
Mhm.
so we were beginning to wonder, Daracel's smile is kind of going away, and it's back. And it's back.
Perfect. Jamaica will do that to you.
And it's back. And it's
And
back.
I just want to say, on the flip side, I do the same for him. It's not a one-way thing. Freddie, you saw the pictures
I
and
know
all
this.
that.
I know
So
this.
it's not just a one-way. We kind of reciprocate the love, the attention, the affection. So yeah, it goes
Don't
both
gloss
ways.
over that, Daracel. Tell what you did. You came to visit me in Atlanta because for women out there that's in relationships or married, tell what you did. Don't hide that under the basket. Put
So,
light on that.
Steve's birthday was in September, and I wanted to do something different. So I had a boudoir session. So it's like just really sexy lingerie photos, semi-nude. You can go all the way nude, whatever you want to do. So I did a mixture of, all that, and I got a book made for his birthday. And he was like, that was like the best gift ever. We got like a big picture over our bed of one of the pictures. So yeah, I mean, he loved it. That's what I mean, after so many years together, a watch, cologne, I mean, you've done all that. So you got to keep it interesting. So, yeah.
I wanted her to talk about that. Absolutely. I'm gonna go to a guy, Kennard. you're married, you and your wife, you guys seem to have a good relationship. For you to hit this stage again, you've accomplished what a lot of us, are looking for. You're doing it and you're living it every day. Talk to us about
Right.
what it takes to maintain that healthy relationship, to keep it in this stage of intimacy, because that's this last stage. What is it that you do? And you don't have to get graphic. I'm an
Well,
idiot, but
no, I see what you're saying. It's not so much what do I do.
Please get
It's
graphic.
not so much what do I do. It's just different stages of like learning the person and where that person is at. And I feel like, say from now until before even at the beginning stages of this year, I think I listen a little bit more, because sometimes I would hear, but I didn't really listen to what Candace wanted or what she was wanting or expecting out of me. I thought, well, hell, as long as I was doing this, and this, it really doesn't matter what you expect. That's the way I was coming across.
right.
And that's a very disrespectful and a very inconsiderate way of approaching a marriage. And you're probably not going to be married that long. But then when you really start to stay in tune and stay connected, even though you have kids that are all over the place, honestly,
Mhm.
and they can be disruptive. They don't have any concept of sleep or time, but still finding that time to where we can sit in the kitchen and smoke our hookah and drink. That's kind of our bonding and our commune time, to where we talk about the future. We talk about what's going on at the job, and it's actually a sacred thing. I look forward to it. As a matter of fact, I always make sure I read up on the hookah or the box wine, to where after the kids go to sleep, we do because I'm actually a podcaster for sports. We do shows like these, and she does her candy shop, and honestly, that is an outlet, because you can go out. It's probably not safe, but these are good outlets for us right now, and I've actually really, really enjoyed it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Mhm.
Valuable. Candace, you got to follow that up now.
I mean, it's the same. Me and him, prior to the pandemic, we actually used to do cruises. Cruises were our thing, and we would do it without the kids, and that's how we kept our intimacy. And then we also went out on the weekends as well. Me and him have always gotten along as friends, because we're both luscious. We like to drink. He actually found wine bottles in my car.
I like her word. I like that word. I'm gonna steal that from you. I'm not a drunk, and I'm luscious.
So we me and him get along really well together. And so the kids, yes, that was another element added to our situation, but I feel like it's made us better as people as well, because I've seen him grow as a man. And that, like, my son's father's not here, but he is here, and that's something on your child support shit we didn't get to talk about.
Right.
His side of the child support.
I'm doing part two. I'm coming with part two.
Okay, good. But no, we like Darcel said, we date. We Kennard said we have our intimate times now. With the pandemic, we don't go out because we have a small little baby, so I can't afford to get her sick. So we set that time for us when the kids are away, and it worked. So I have to say, I'm very laid back. It doesn't take a lot to please me, so it just works for us, I guess.
I got you. Terry, it's gonna be coming to me, you and Tasha. We all single.
Yeah.
Now y'all might be in a better situation than I am. I'm seeing nobody. You're seeing somebody, as you just mentioned. Tasha's in a situationship. So is the goal for you to get to that stage of intimacy?
You want to go first, Tasha?
Go ahead, Terry.
To that, I mean, it'd be nice, you probably feel the same way when you single for a while and you comfortable being single. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, you don't have any ambitions of getting married or anything like that, or you're not just like, oh, I got to meet somebody and get to that stage. But in the back of my mind, it will be nice. You know, my parents are married, still married. All my brothers are married. So yeah, one day I would like to get married. It'd be nice, but I'm not
Okay.
stressing about it.
Okay. 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 You know, as a single guy, you know, in terms of, you know, I think you missed the first part about it. What attracts you to a woman? What
Mhm.
is it that you think it would take for you to get? What are you looking for you to get to that point where you would put a ring on somebody?
Ironically, kind of like the relationship Candace and Kennard have. You know, I want a homie, lover, friend, and so like it seemed like they're friends. You know, they have a lot of things in common, and even things they don't have in common, they're okay with it. So it'd be nice to meet a woman that's, you know, your friend that you could kind of, you know, tell all your secrets to, and she won't really judge you, but at the same time, you know, she wants you to be a better person. So that's what I'm kind of looking for.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. All right, Tasha, bring it on home. You in a
Oh yeah,
situationship,
Tasha.
you know. I've got a very specific question for you because you're in a
Okay.
situationship
Hmm.
and you've carried that through all of 2020.
Yeah.
Does it continue or are you looking for something different?
No, with him, it's easy. We've been doing this for over 10 years. It's just easy. There is that level of
Nice.
comfort there. There is that those conversations that we can have.
Mhm.
And even now, just still learning a lot about each other, even
Right.
especially with the show, like the topics that we have. But for me, I'm realistic. I know that this isn't gonna transition into a real relationship. And it's something that we've talked about, but that's for other reasons. That is why it could never
I got
be.
you. I got you. Right.
But
I
as
got
far
you.
as anything else, like looking for anything new, I'm not. The last relationship that I was in, it took a lot from me.
Okay.
So I just want to be single, just with no expectations, where everything is on my terms. I want to do I want to do what I want to do, and that's it. So for me this year, I'm not looking for anything new. Nothing
Oh
new.
wow. All right.
I just want to be by myself.
Don't even ask you for your number. Just
No, no, well, not down. Let me say that you can
keep
ask
walking.
me for my number.
No, you just told me
We
you don't
might
want
be
nothing
able
new.
to even fuck, but I'm not looking for anything serious.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do
Big Mac she for real with it. She for real with it. And
no.
I love it. She for real with it.
Can I ask a question though? This is
Sure,
my
please.
show. Women, because I don't do this, but do you rate men when you're dating them on a scale of 1 to 10? Is that something you do? You rate
Yes.
men?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
this is new to me. I don't rate men except for their dick size. But other than that,
That's like post rating though. Like you might be
Yeah,
disappointed.
yeah,
Rating.
I rate men, but it's not on the same scale that they may
they
rate
rate
us.
us
It's
on. Yeah.
predominantly physical. It's more. It for me. It's more than that. It's how he act. Can he make
Mhm.
me laugh? How like what
Uh,
does he do? How does he treat me? It's more along those lines, not so much just the physical. I'm not saying physical doesn't play a part in it, but it's more than that. It's just a
physical
different
Right.
scale for women. That's
physical
it.
has to
Right.
play a part in it. Like if a guy 5'1" approaches any one of y'all not gonna give him the time of the day. I don't care how funny he is, how
That's
charming
not
he
That's
is.
same.
true.
That's the
I
same with a
would.
That's not
300
true
pound
at
woman
all.
that
I
approaches y'all.
would. That's
Are
not
y'all dating?
true.
Are y'all dating
That's not
300
true.
pound woman? No.
But
No, but I rate him. So yeah, if she's in
Right,
7 Up
right.
club, like yes.
That's the point he's making. That's like I said last night. You might call it something different, but
Yeah,
women rate men.
yeah.
They really
I
do.
guess I don't rate men. Honestly, I don't. It's how they talk to me. Because I've dated men that were tall and big, and then I've dated skinny and short. So I don't rate them. I just don't.
So out of all the men who approach all y'all women, when y'all turn around and do that first look them up and down, y'all didn't rate them to determine if you want to give them the number or nothing. You're just
It's what he
I
said to me. If he was able to really shoot his game, talk that talk, then he was getting a chance.
okay.
when I meet a guy, I pretty much know if I'm going to sleep with you or not. No matter how long I make you wait, that's you know.
I've
But
always
yeah, I
believed that
know.
about women, and I've always believed that
Yeah,
about
I
women.
mean,
That
it's true.
now, with that
Now
said, I think a
you
man
can
can
mess it
talk
up
himself.
along the
That's
line
where I was
somewhere.
going.
Yeah.
I think you can talk yourself out of it. You know, so
Yeah.
that's the balance that you can't say nothing too stupid. You know, but I've always believed that really, when a woman meets you, she kind of know right off the kind of pretty early at least
Mhm.
that you know what.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: you've been my friend. You've been my friend. I've seen y'all do it. I know how women think, you know.
Yeah.
When you look at a guy and think, oh, fuck him. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
For me, that's immediate. Like if I see someone, I'm like, I'd fuck shit out of him, or you know, I'd give him some. I would
Right,
give him some
right.
of this.
And
I
do
would
the
do that.
same.
I've
I
heard
used to
See,
do the
that.
I say that too, but my timeline's a little different because
I
I
get
like to
that.
be wined and dined
Right,
and all these
right.
things first. But I still know the end result's gonna be the same. But
I love it. I love it. And that's
Can
what
I
I say. Go
can I
ahead, please.
ask, I guess, Black and D, because Black, you've been married. How do you deal with your partner changing and what they look like? Because for myself, after having this baby, I've gained weight. So when my husband met me, I was a size 6. And
Okay.
I think, Lee, when I was working with you, I was smaller as well. So
Okay.
how do y'all deal with your partner changing in their appearance? And is that something you mention to them, or do you just let them slide with that?
I
Okay.
will say this. I will say this personally from a woman. Like when I had my first child, it was pretty easy for me to lose the weight. My second one was not so easy. And I was really self-conscious about my body. Like I didn't want my husband to see me naked. I mean, that's how bad it was. Because you're
And,
thinking like, okay, he met me at this size, and is he still
and
really going
that's,
to be attracted
I
to me at
asked
this
that.
size? But
Yeah.
when you build a foundation on friendship and on true love, then it's not gonna matter because, like I said, I think another weight's easy to lose. That's all superficial. Your personality doesn't change or whatever. So any man that loves you and wants to be with you, and you have a strong foundation, I mean, gaining a little weight is not gonna matter. And the fact that you gain weight to have his child is not gonna matter. So I mean, I don't know how the men feel about it, but that's the
I'm
that's
gonna
my
I'm gonna
second.
answer since
I
she
Okay.
get
asked
you on
me.
that. Yeah.
I'm gonna answer since she asked me. I like you said, I was married, and my wife
Mhm.
went through brief periods. I think for y'all, what y'all perceive is different from the way we see it. And I get that. I truly do, because what you see in the mirror may not be what we see in the mirror. And I think,
Mhm.
like anybody, normal people, just from a human standpoint, we tend to be way more harder on ourselves than
Mhm. Yeah.
anybody else. You know, 10 pounds of fat, we just, oh my God, I'm disgusting. Now I
Yeah.
am a fat fucker. I know this, you know. So there's no misconceptions about that. At the same time, I still always got pussy thrown at me. So that was part of the big controversy for me, the conflict. But anyway, that's another story. To answer your question, for my wife, it really didn't matter. In the words of Cat Williams, in the history of pussydom, ain't no man looked at no woman that he's in love with and thought because she got a few little rolls or stretch marks that he ain't interested in her. So I was never not sexually attracted to my wife. You know what I'm saying? And even other girlfriends I've had, when she got a little bit of weight, this gonna fuck you up. As I've gotten older, when I was younger, I used to screw a lot of little thin women. Don't no grown ass man at this stage want no skinny, bony ass woman striking no match
That's
against her.
that's
No,
not what Kevin Samuels is saying. He wants a size 2 to 4
I
woman.
love the guy because
Listen,
he's
I
saying
listened
what
to
he
him,
needs to
and
say.
he
He's saying what he
he is
needs to
not
say to be
no
popular. But I'm telling you from a man's
no
point of view that
right.
Lizzo gets on my nerves, and I will beat the brakes off Lizzo.
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
I'll I'll say this, Candace, and again, this is of course, never been married or anything, but the guys that I'm dealing with, he met me when I was fine. I'll say like when I was fine. Okay, I'm
You
far
still
from that now,
fine, baby. You still
but
fine.
no, like I was sexy. I was admittedly like I was fine, but even but when I met him, he was much bigger than I was, and now the roles have changed,
Yeah.
but he's still just as attractive. The sex is still just as good. We do it just as much. So I mean, I guess it really depends on your foundation. And like Dee said, it's about being friends first. And a lot of real men, they're not gonna look
And
at that and
Terry,
think like,
you
"Ugh."
answer this. As you get
Mhm.
older, it becomes about good sex, not your body. When I was younger, that's all that I saw. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she had to have an ass like a 10-year-old boy. She had to be able to bounce a quarter off of
You
it.
probably
Mhm.
shouldn't use that analogy.
Yeah, I've heard it a lot of times growing up. Yeah, a lot.
That sounds so bad.
Yeah, I know.
Firm.
That analogy is accurate. That's why that analogy is accurate.
Say an 18-year-old girl.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
just saying, you look at a 10-year-old boy,
Oh my God.
it's no homosexuality, but it's very accurate. But I'm just saying, when you younger, it was all about. But you know what? As you get older, my thing is, and I'm going to have this as one of my show. What happens when the lights goes out? Because physically, as you age, you want intimacy.
Mhm.
Mm.
And when I'm younger, the calisthenics of sex was what it mattered to me. The marathon sessions and picking somebody up and throwing them around and grabbing them by ankles, all that. I'm too old for that kind of shit now. Now, you know what? I want a good, decent session, 20, 30 minutes. Lay your monkey ass down and let's go to sleep and curl up together. But, all that extra shit, they're still twitching her head, Dad. Don't get me
I'm
wrong.
still wanting
Every
to.
now I can get
I
up,
want a
but that ain't
session.
gonna be no regular. That you know what?
I need
can
a
put that
session
on.
sometime.
I like what you said. Sometimes, don't get me wrong. When them blue pills kick in, I might give you a session every now and then. But I ain't gonna be expecting that every night now.
Surprise me. Yeah. So Terry, what do you have to say about this? You didn't say anything.
Yeah, like when I was with my ex and she got pregnant. I mean, as a older, mature man, you can't be unrealistic. Like they're not gonna gain any weight, get any stress marks or cellulite. And kind of like my uncle said, I mean, I didn't mind it. It was my child. I'm partially responsible
Mhm.
for it. And to be honest with you, yeah, she gained some weight, but it didn't bother me. I was still attracted to her. My issue is when you meet a woman and let's say, she didn't have a child or your child and she gains 30 or 40, 50 pounds and she just lets herself go. That I
Mhm.
have an issue with. But if you have a child, like any mature man, like, hey man, it's hard to bounce back from having a child. So I'm still attracted to you.
So I hope that ain't Candace,
And they actually get thicker in some areas, especially them thin girls when they get pregnant after they have their baby, they be so thick. Man.
Darcel, from way back, I used to like them real thin girls.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hard to have sex with them little thin girls. You know what I'm saying? It really is, but as you get old, like, well, damn, what was I thinking? And what am I looking at? Because it's not fun. It's just, but at that time, you're young and you can sling them around and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But
I got a question for D, Tasha, and Candace as well. So they say when they first meet a man, you could tell like right there if you're gonna, if you want to sleep with him or not. Like, what's that look that you give them? Because I know it's quick. It's real quick. You look them up and down. So I just need to get that look kind of memorized. So when I see it enough times, I know.
Good question.
But I know it's quick. Just quick
But
up
it's
and down,
harder
that's
to
it.
Be
do it.
honest.
It's harder
Be
to
honest.
do it now. It's harder to do it now because you got to wear a mask, so you'll miss it.
Yeah.
You'll miss
I
it.
know,
You're
damn.
not
That's
going to be able
okay.
to see it.
That's okay. But look in the camera and be honest. What is the look? That's a good question.
I don't know
Okay.
if I'm biting my lip or
Mm.
I don't know. It's more things that I'm doing. Like if I'm
The
leaning in
thing
and
that gets me usually is like a fine man in a suit, like all that buttoned up,
thank you.
clean girl. I could
What is
just
it with the
like
suits? It's just a
it's
suit.
Oh, see,
It's
I'm
hard to
different.
wait.
I want a man in
it's
uniform. I want to see him. I want someone who's. I have a weakness for police officers, men in uniform, SWAT team.
oh.
What about
Honey,
firefighters?
please. I'm looking to commit a crime right then. That's what I'm looking for.
What about firefighters?
Seriously, what about
Vote
firefighters?
me up.
Yeah, firefighters are fit, so that's a turn off.
Tasha,
Yeah.
what about firefighters?
No, not firefighters. I want SWAT men. I want military.
I
I think
tried,
it's
Jay.
so sexy when they put when they have that
tried.
gun on their thigh. I think that shit is so sexy.
But
That just do something
firefighters
to me.
have the suspenders in their firefighter pants, and
Yeah.
Nah,
it-
I want
A
somebody
man
who
in the
look like they're
suit
going
and a
through
man that
something.
smells good.
Yeah.
So,
I
Clean
agree.
shaven.
so T-shirt
I
ain't gonna get
mean,
it. So T-shirt don't get it no more.
No.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
not if you're
It
trying to get the look.
it really just depends. But for me, it's definitely a man that's either in military or police officer with that gun around their thigh. That shit right there is so sexy to me. I just don't know why. Handcuff
Well,
me, please.
I'm gonna keep it honest with y'all. I ain't never in my life been that guy that looks got me in. I've had my moments, I've had my moments in time where something I had on just right, where so looks never got it. I was always able to get in by my conversation and being able to talk my way in. So for me, that was I had to develop other talents, other superpowers. So for me, it was the Teddy Pendergrass approach. You know what I'm saying? Those guys that got the uniforms and they're all sexy and everything. I'm gonna ask for that pussy right out, and that's always worked for me.
I'll say this too. One other thing that I think this man at this place I used to work at, he caught my attention, but he was it was just how he was dressed. He wasn't dressed in anything special, but he had I hate when men wear skinny jeans. I hate that. But he had on just like some straight leg jeans, some black of those polo boots. He had on a sweatshirt and then he had a big coat like on top of it. And then he had like on a tobacco. I don't know, maybe I just like thuggish men, but he was just so fine to me. I call it like the Jodeci thing. I think that shit is so sexy. I don't know why, but I just think it's sexy. It's grown man.
Skinny jeans are such a turn off. I'm like,
yes, yes. You had to
I don't
wiggle
know
to
why.
get in
Like
those.
that's the opposite of the
Yes.
turn on. The skinny jeans, I'm like, no.
Fantastic. And my last few minutes, I lost Candace and Kennard, but okay, Candace is back. I want to wrap up one thing for 2021, since we're talking about dating and relationships and New Year's resolutions. What's one thing you're resolved to do better when it comes to relationships as we head into the new year? Terry, go.
Oh man, I started first. Off the top of my head, just treat the women who deserve to be respected with respect. I'll
Nice.
start with that one. That's what I'm gonna do.
I
Because
like.
there's some respectable women out there. I don't think they should be put in the same class as some of these thoughts and hoes. You should treat them a little differently. Yeah.
I like. Candace, for you, what's the one thing resolution wise as far as dating you're gonna work on for 2021?
Well, I mean, I'm married, so
Right. Right. But
for 20
but even to improve your relationship.
for 2021, I hope to learn how to manage the children more, where we're intimate, but I want to be like in the beginning where it was every day. So working on managing how to deal with them.
All right.
Okay, private message me, girl.
D, you up.
Honestly, I'm gonna be a little bit vulgar. I just want to have more sex and suck a little more.
I know that's right.
Get it. Get it in.
Like a Rottweiler
all I
drinking a
got.
bowl of water. That's what it's gonna
That's
sound
all
like.
on my need.
Hopefully you 2 for 2 after the night.
Oh, that's gonna get played over and over. All right now. Sounds like for this episode right here. Okay.
I've already said as far as like 2020, maybe what I would do is try to relinquish some control. But really, I'm gonna be so focused on me. It's all just improving me as a person. I'm not looking for anything serious. I just want to work on me.
Okay. For me, I spent a year being celibate. I feel healthy. I feel mentally stronger. I like something you said earlier, Terry, where you was talking about being a little bit more vulnerable and dating outside of what's your norm.
Mhm.
That's my goal. That's my goal for 2021. I want something different, you know, and I hope that I'm evolving past just that physical thing. So I definitely want to. I'm already blunt, so I want to curtail that somewhat. I'm working on that. Just so you guys know, I curse a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
You,
I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
you know.
I curse a lot. I'm going to work on. And what's really fucked up about that is that I actually have a great vocabulary. I'm an educated guy. I'm going to work on my words better. Um, I really am. That's gonna be my.
Thank you.
Let's go. I put that on everything I post. I'm going to, and I want you guys to hold me accountable. On one of the episodes, my nephew said, "Find a different word for P." I'm going to work on trying to find different words to express myself. So
Not P.
if,
Snatch.
well, I didn't want to say P, and so I guess I'm gonna have to give up snatch too. I love the word snatch.
I know.
But anyway, I'm gonna have to work on finding better terminology because I want to be better in all seriousness. So I'm still working on trying to let myself be better.
That's my Wi-Fi is unstable. How do I fix it?
You're frozen,
Yeah, she frozen.
frozen, but we can hear you. So that's for me what my 2020 resolution is. And as I told you guys at the beginning, we got some big things coming. My nephew on here, Terry, we're not going to announce. We got some big things coming for
Yeah.
2021. We got some big things coming. Candace, I hope you and Kennard are a part of this. It's time for us to, we see other people reach out and accomplish their goals and dreams.
Hmm.
We
Yep.
feel small sometimes, and I get angry sometimes at my people, my African American people, because we think too small and we come up with reasons why we shouldn't. And one thing I love about my nephew is an entrepreneur. He's always thinking ahead. And Candace, I brought up a little bit to Kennard. I'm pretty sure he shared that with you. So we want to get together and start having some meetings. I think we can do big things together. I think we're on to something really, really big here. I think we've tapped into a need that is missing out there. I love the fact that we can all get together as men and women and talk like we do. I think we're on to something big. I really do. And I want to take it to the next level. So we've got some things coming in 2021. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. I always measure myself by how I end a year. Did I end my year better than when I started? I'm very happy because for me, when I closed out 2020 with all of this stuff that happened, I'm in a better place. And so I'm looking to do something even better. I've reestablished some of the best friendships. My baby girl D is back in my life. You better not ever go anywhere again. Candace, I had no idea you was as cool as you are. You and Kennard better not go any fucking where. Uh, Tasha McMack, you already know. So I'm looking forward to forming lasting, strong friendships, family bonds, because sometimes we don't always get to pick our family, but when we do, it can be special, you know. And so, you guys, I love all of you guys. I respect all of you guys. So I'm looking for big things in 2021. So I wanted this first show to be about just reconnecting and getting off on the right foot.
What about you and Candace audience? Y'all never asked them like what kind of changes they're gonna make for the New Year's or
I haven't put that out there. So
well, I
maybe
mean in the
that,
comment section. They could just add it in the comment section if anybody's kind of following along.
you know what? I will put that out there starting tomorrow as, for my audience that, hey, what do you plan to change? And give me some good ideas and things of that
You know,
nature.
Yeah.
like right
So,
now, I see people likes and comments. Yeah, they could put it in
And
right
it
now.
It's always good on YouTube. I forgot to tell you because it's a way to optimize your videos, but always do a pin question on
Okay.
your YouTube channel. You can pin a question and then have people respond. So that can be something. And I don't mind.
I need to work more closely with you because I'm still an infant in learning these things. So I know you've been doing it a while. Kennard's been doing it a while. So that's why I said I want to get with you guys. And you know, again, we're not competition. You
Yeah.
know, we're all climbing this ladder together. You know, the pie's big enough for everybody to eat. You
Yeah,
know, so.
YouTube is a beast to tackle. There's an algorithm to it. And so once you master that, you can get subscribers quickly and then monetize from there.
I love it. I love it. So anyway, it's been another great episode. You know, I thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I will post the topics for Wednesday tomorrow, but I'm also going to pose that question, Terry. I'm open to ideas, suggestions, and nephew, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. I spoke to 2 people, but I haven't reached the third, so I don't know if I can pull off the meeting we were talking about. But Candace, I also want to speak to you tomorrow, so please give me a call, okay?
Will do.
All right.
Okay.
Everybody have a good night. Thank you for being a part of tonight's episode. Once again, it's been another episode of Real Talk. Peace.
Peace.
Hi.
Bye.